Okay, well, look, I mean, here's what I want to say. So, a couple of big events here. So, Steph Fry has tied Kevin Hartman for 112 shutouts. That's a big deal. You know, Albert's up to 11 assists. It was Jonathan Bell's first goal for the club. I mean, there's a lot of positives, but what I really want to say about the team, what I'm really excited about, and what I hope our fans are excited about. I mean, Saturday's such a big game against LAFC. I mean, we need to get everybody needs to come out, show up. I know it's summer in Seattle, but this is a massive game for us. We've only lost twice in 18 games, all comps. We've only lost twice. And that's pretty darn good if you ask me. So what I would tell you is that the team's playing well. It's exciting. I know we should have scored maybe a third goal, but the team's playing really well. It's exciting. I hope to see all of my friends there. It's a big game Saturday, and I'm excited for it, and I'm fired up, Maz. I'm fired up because LAFC has taken two results that aren't quite, maybe up to what they want, and it's shaping up to be a big game.
With that, we'll start here in the room. Maz, I saw you first. Mike is coming around.
Make it good,
side.
Maz.
Well, Brian, I'm actually, since you put it out there, but how important was it to win this game so that
Critical.
Saturday
Critical.
was a big game?
Look, was it our best soccer, Maz? No, maybe not, but we needed to win this game. You're spot on. We needed to win this game to set this next game up. Then it's Leagues Cup. I mean, we come out with the result on Saturday, and we're flying.
All right, we'll go to Jeremiah next, and then Andy.
The first half didn't seem like you had the goal, but it wasn't necessarily your best half of soccer. What did you? And it did seem like the second half was much more like what you want to be playing. What was going better in the second half?
So I think, to be fair to the players in there, the timing of certain things just wasn't, working. So Christian played for JP. Jackson moved over a spot. Jonathan Bell, played the Open Cup. Rothrock and Chu switched sides a little bit earlier than I maybe would have liked, but we tried to fix that at halftime. There were just certain things just the timing of our movements and a couple of missed passes, Jeremiah, just led us to a kind of half. And so in the second half, I agree with you. I think we came out better in the second half. I think our spacing was a little better. I think our movement was a little sharper. And, it helped, of course, Jonathan getting that goal right coming out of halftime. So, we were able to close the game out.
Andy, over to you.
Speaking of Jonathan's goal, just how important, especially with this kind of run of matches and the congestion, has it been to have three center backs that you can kind of rely on in the heart of that defense with him, Yamar, and Reagan?
Yeah, it's great. Andy, you worked at the Times, right? Yes, sir. Okay, good articles. Thank you for that. And look, Nathan he had an injury early on. I've got four good center backs. They're all competing for playing time. It raises the level of everything. I mean, it's great to be able to mix and match. We took Miles off Ymar, and Ymar's been a great player for us this season, but, we did what we needed to do tonight so that he can be fresh for Saturday.
All right, we'll swing over on this side of the room, starting with Nico Moreno. I see Owen as well.
Hey, Brian. Congrats on the win. I wanted to get your take on it. It seemed like your substitutions, worked out. They brought energy at the right times. And how much of it was it also thinking about LAFC, like pulling off Nuhu when you did and certain players when you did?
Well, that's an interesting question. Did I pull Nuhu off because we wanted to save legs, or was there some part of me that said there was a little bit too much, pizzazz in his play? I'll watch the tape. But yes, getting JP, Ymar a little bit of a break, trying to get guys off the field, Obed, Jordan, although I would have liked to take a little bit more time. I wish we would have scored that third goal, and we really could have, finished the game with a few more subs a little earlier. But, The subs that came on, again, did a great job. Raul did a good job. I was happy to give Danny a few minutes. You know, he's a good kid. Reed, you see his quality. I mean, when he steps on the field, it's just different. It's a different profile than Nuhu. So, yeah, it was good to see.
And in terms of Raul, I mean, it seems like he came in with the right energy. He misses that goal. He's probably, you know, he wants that back. But, you know, what did you see from him?
He's going to score many more goals for us this season, Nico. I have complete faith in him. He's for the team. He's always worked. Even though, you know, he's not starting, he hasn't given up on this group. It's kudos to him. And he's going to score more goals for us for sure.
All right, we'll go to Owen Murray and then Nico Antun.
Hey, Brian. You guys sat above 60% possession, like comfortably above for the first time, at least in league play this year. Can you talk a little bit about how that kind of affected the way you played and what maybe changes you were looking for?
Well, that's actually interesting, Owen, because it didn't feel like that till late in the game. In the first half, I don't know what our first half stats were, but again, I think we could have played a little bit better. Yes, I enjoyed the way we closed out the game with solid possession. You know, even when the subs came on, we were good in our possession sequences. So that's kudos to the subs that came on. But yeah, I mean, the possession figures, you know, sometimes they're false. You know, you can have 38% possession and still win 1-0. That's the beauty of our sport. But it certainly is enjoyable when you have a 2-0 lead, which is kind of a tricky lead, and you close games out with possession. You're correct.
Yeah, and then maybe on the stat sheet, Jordan didn't have, you know, quite as much of a game as he had, like 16 touches, a shot. But can you talk a little about how he still impacted the game?
Well, his impact would have been great if he scored that goal. I know he wishes he had that back. We talked already in the locker room. You know, did he see Rothrock over there? Could he have, you know, put it in the near post? But look, it wasn't his most productive game on the stat sheet. But, you know, he's working hard. He's scoring goals. He's done great.
All right, Nico, your turn. Go for it.
Want to get your thoughts on the youngsters. Reed, he's been putting in some great balls in. Paul Rothrock, he's been getting more starts. Could you talk about how the role has transformed to their current role with the squad throughout the season?
Well, what has transpired is that Reed Baker-Whiting and Paul Rothrock are in conversations to be starters on what is, my opinion, one of the top teams in MLS. And that's not easy to do. You know, this team has had a lot of history of winning a lot of games. That's why Saturday is such a big game. And you've got a couple of local kids that are making plays, that are helping this group win, and it's a great story. I mean, it's Reed from Seattle, Paul from Seattle, you know, Jackson, Obed's an academy kid, Josh, Danny Leyva. I mean, we've got a lot of kids that have come up through our system that are playing significant minutes in important games. So I love it. I love it.
Before we come back over here and we're heading there next, we'll take one off Zoom that I'm seeing. Felipe Makeda, if you're able to unmute yourself, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Brian, congratulations on the win. I would like to take your opinion on the group of players that you have. Looks like the team has been doing really good in the last weeks, 8 games. But pretty soon you're going to have to fight for a couple of pieces of hardware, one final, hopefully in August and September, US Open Cup and Leagues Cup. You think that the team is ready to play in those for those 2 tournaments?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Felipe. I mean, look, if you look at the start of our season when we had injuries and things weren't going well, the players still believe, they never give up, they never quit. Now we're getting everybody back to full strength. The Open Cup is a prime example. I mean, we used some younger players in the first couple of games, some guys from Defiance that had big performances. You know, Sacramento was a hard game. The guys, the depth came through. Craig's done a great job of providing me with good players. Everybody's getting healthy. There's playing time. We want to do well in the Open Cup. That's going to be an epic game. You talk about Saturday. What about Open Cup semifinal against LAFC. I mean, there's another good one, Felipe. So is the club ready? Yes, they are. We have enough depth, so we're ready.
All right, we'll swing back over here. Jesse, been waiting. Thanks for your patience. Mike is on its way.
Coach, you already briefly mentioned it tonight, but can you kind of elaborate on what you thought of John Bell's goal of the night and his overall performance?
His overall performance was good. What I like, Jess, is it was a timely goal because we wanted to come out in the second half on the front foot and play a little better, and he delivered. So kudos to him. It was a great ball and a great header and a good way to get us started in the second half.
Obviously, there's rotations due to the multiple match week, but why do you think John Bell earned this start tonight?
Well, because he's a great kid, he's a smart soccer player, and he works hard. Pretty simple.
Jeremiah, you still have one? Let's go right next door there.
It seemed like you were counter pressing, or however, whatever term you want to use, really effectively today. You won a lot of balls back after losing possession in your own or in the offensive end. And I'm just curious if that was something that was a point of emphasis or if that was just kind of the way it worked out.
Okay, so I hope you guys see this already. I know Maz does, and Owen brought up a good thing. It's way easier, Jeremiah, to counter-press effectively when you establish possession in your opponent's end. And so when we had enough possession in our opponent's half of the field, then when the ball turns over, you've got multiple guys in and around the ball. Usually they only have one guy up front. They're defending. They're tired. It's the same, sequence that I talk about our team sometimes. We fall into that trap. And tonight we were very effective because we had a lot of possession in their half of the field, which makes our counter-pressing way more effective.
We'll go to Maz, and as a mic is making its way to him, we'll take two from Sports Media Institute. Just one. Okay, sounds good. Maz,
Yeah, to that point, the 48th minute, Paul Rothrock gets that. He wins that free kick, which then Albert Rusnak takes, and then Jonathan Bell. Can you just talk about, and then the other thing is you switched him from left to right like you talked about, his intelligence and his physicality today.
Probably more his smarts than his physical play, although he did win that duel, but he's a smart soccer player. I mean, he won that foul because of his, desire, his ability to kind of understand where the ball might end up, and he reads the game well. He's a smart soccer player, and he wants to make plays for the team. He knows that that's his calling card where he's going to be in the position to start games. So that's what he's doing, and he's in the conversation.
Okay, Senor Moreno, the younger. Good luck.
Hi, Brian. Great win. Rusnak was great tonight, getting his 11th assist of the season and having 4 goals. Do you think he has done a great job filling in Nico Ladeiro's shoes?
Oh, okay. Thanks, Steve, by the way, first, okay? But good question. So comparing players sometimes is a dangerous game. So Nico Ladeiro was one of the greatest players that our club has ever seen. Albert Rusnak has had his own story that he has told himself. He helped us win Champions League. He came here as a free agent, and Craig signed him because of the relationship that he had with him at RSL. And Albert has moved around. He played back a line as one of the 2 pivots next to JP. He's finally playing where I know he enjoys playing, which is up a line in that kind of number 10 spot. And you can see that he enjoys playing. He's very good at what he does. And, his 11 assists are getting close, I think. I think he had 14 in 2017.
You nailed it.
Okay, so he's catching up to his career mark in assists, and that's kudos to him.